What is up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching, and today I am doing a draft review on the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're going to jump right into it here with what was the draft plan that they had. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know. Sit and pick, I guess. This is a team that did not make any moves in this class at all. And what I mean by that is no trades at all revolving around their first 7 picks, and no trades in the draft as well. I just think that's strange. It's scary to me. To me, that says the Bengals aren't actually trying to win. To me, that says the Bengals don't actually care. They're not doing anything to improve their team by spending assets or improve their team by retaining assets and trying to create more draft capital. I don't get it, man. And it sucks because my favorite player in this class is Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow. He's the best player in this class, in my opinion, because he plays the most important position, and he's really, 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 really good. And he's on the Bengals. And I don't know. There was all this conversation about, do you try and get out of Cincinnati? Do you try and go somewhere else? And of course, Joe Burrow didn't do that. And I respect that. As a Dolphins fan, I wanted him to, but I respect it. And the reason they were all saying that is because the Bengals are not a franchise that want to win. And to me, not making any moves, that proves it to me. That says, yeah, you don't want to win. You don't care. You're going to sit and pick. And I just feel bad for the guys that go to this team. And I hate that I'm starting out like that and I'm so negative against it. But the whole concept for this video series that I'm doing is studying the moves within the draft that get forgotten. Right. So I, of course I talk about the picks in the first 3 rounds, but I really like to dive in to the trades and what happened and how things happened and how things worked and what caused each trade to go down the way they did. So, this isn't the only team that didn't make any draft day trades. That doesn't mean they're a bad team. That doesn't mean they don't care. But just the fact that they didn't make any draft day trades when they're the worst team in football right now, and I'm not just saying that because they're the worst team. No, they're the worst team. They were drafting number 1 overall for a reason. They were the worst team in sports, and they did a lot to make themselves a lot better. Joe Burrow is going to be good for 5 or 6 wins, and T. Higgins is awesome, and we're going to get into their draft. It's just disheartening for me, I guess is the best way I can say it. It is disheartening to me that they didn't try and make moves, that they didn't try and really take the opportunity that they had with the top pick in every single round and trying to make the most out of it. They just didn't, and that's just disappointing to me. I feel bad for the fans, and I feel bad for the players that are going to this franchise, but I don't think anything's going to change until they get a new owner that shows that they care more than this owner does. So that's my 2 cents on that. I am sorry if you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan, insult the way I look or something in the comments, like make me feel bad, because I'm sure I just made you feel bad. So I do apologize, but that's just my 2 cents, and I gotta tell it how it is sometimes. Moving on, did they draft an offensive lineman in the first 4 rounds? I say it in every single video. There's no such thing as a bad team with a good offensive line, and for the Bengals, no, they did not take an offensive lineman. To be fair, they do have Jonah Williams, the tackle out of Alabama that got hurt last year, that should be coming back. So I guess they technically get that pick that counts as a first round pick from last year that'll actually get to play this year, just to make it a little bit easier to swallow. And then did they take a wide receiver? And the reason it's wide receiver is did you take the position that was that had the most depth in it, with the strength of the draft? Did you take that position? And of course it was wide receiver, and they did take a wide receiver. And we're going to get into that right now. With the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals do take Joe Burrow. And if you want to know what I think about Joe Burrow, go watch the draft profile that I made on him. I spent 25 minutes just gushing over how good this player is. I love every single part of his game. I think he is an excellent quarterback, and he was the obvious pick here at number 1. It was made known that the Bengals really didn't even consider a trade out of number one. They were locked and loaded with Joe Burrow after week 15 when they lost to the Dolphins in overtime and their first round pick was cemented. So I think it was going to be Joe Burrow no matter what, and I don't think there was anything that the Dolphins or any other team could have done to go get that pick. And I think they made the right decision there. Don't trade this pick. You got your franchise quarterback, and now figure out everything else. In the second round, pick number 33, they do take T. Higgins, wide receiver, Clemson. And again, I like the player a lot. I like this pick a lot. This is a go up and get it player. This is somebody who is going to have an immediate impact opposite A.J. Green. I think he can learn a lot from A.J. Green because they're going to play very similar styles. Yes, his 40 time wasn't the fastest at his pro day, and that probably hurt him. That's probably why he fell to the second round. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't think that matters. I mean, it does matter. It absolutely does. Speed kills. But he played fast at Clemson. So I'm not that worried about his speed. No, he's not a 4.4 guy. He's probably a 4.5 guy on film. And that's all you need, man. I think that's all that really matters. T. Higgins is going to be a great player for the Bengals for a long time. And with their third pick, number 65 overall, and this is where I'm kind of a little bit questionable on the pick. They take Logan Wilson, linebacker out of Wyoming, and I have a couple questions here. Mainly, how is he going to adjust going to the NFL environment where he has to play at the speed of NFL caliber players, or even SEC caliber players? I mean, it's just a huge question for me. This is a guy who was ultra productive at Wyoming, and I mean, looks the part. He absolutely does. I think he's going to be more of a run stuffing linebacker. I don't see him as a guy who's going to be serious help in man-to-man or zone coverages. That's just not where I would expect him. All in all, guys, I know I kind of railed on this Bengals earlier in this video. I don't hate the players they picked, but my whole thing is I'm not going to give you credit for taking the best player when you had the first pick. And again, I'm not really going to give you credit for taking T. Higgins in the second because you had all night to think about it and you had the first picked. You didn't make any moves. So I'm gonna, I'll give them credit for at least making the right decision. But I think it's a decision that a lot of us, watching on your phone or computer, sitting in front of a camera and mic, or wherever else you are, I think a lot of average fans could have made that decision, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm not going to give you a round of applause for doing what you were supposed to do. And this was, I think, an opportunity for the Bengals to really push their team into a new direction. And I just don't think they did that, and that's kind of why I railed on them earlier. But as far as the players they took, I don't hate them. I'm not a huge fan of the Logan Wilson pick, and the subsequent players. I think there's a lot of promise in their day three guys, but there's just nothing about their draft that I'm gonna sit here and be excited about. As far as my favorite move, yes, taking Joe Burrow, slam dunk, is the obvious choice in the favorite move. My least favorite move, or just no draft day trades or any commitment to adding assets for their team. That's just disheartening to me. It's the part that I just can't get over. And then for me, the biggest surprise in this draft is the fact that they didn't go offensive line early. I thought that was kind of a position of need for the Bengals. They didn't have a good offensive line last year, and now you're putting Joe Burrow behind a bad offensive line again. Granted, they do get Jonah Williams back, like I said, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for this team. So that was a little surprising to me, but that just is what it is. They went linebacker in the mid rounds and wide receiver at number in the second round. So you can't hate them. They had a lot of needs. So I get their thought process behind all of those decisions. All in all, guys, I am going to give their grade a C-, and I'm not giving it a C- because I hate the players that they drafted. I love Joe Burrow. I like T. Higgins. You can go watch the draft profiles on both those guys on this channel and see why I like those guys so much. They're great players, and they deserve to be drafted where they went. T. Higgins, I thought, had a chance to go in the first round, but at 33 overall, he got damn close. I'm giving them a C- because I thought they handled the draft poorly, and at the end of the day, I think that's more important to me. If you're not going to have the ability to add assets and help the franchise quarterback that you just drafted, what's the point? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you are interested in more football, NFL style videos. This channel is not stopping. We are going 365 days a year. I'm gonna be pushing out content for you guys. And right now, I am focusing on the draft, but I will focus on every aspect of football moving forward. So please give me a like and subscribe and follow the journey, guys.